Welcome to the exclusive. I'm your host, Sharon Tharp. I'm super excited to be back. I haven't podcasted in a minute, but we had to do a little bit of an emergency Traitors podcast because the season 3 cast was announced today. They are currently filming in Scotland. And I thought, like, who could I bring together to talk about this cast? And these two people immediately came to mind. And you know what? I thought it would be fun to have two people who aren't usually in a podcast together come together. So I'd love to welcome Survivor legend Kelley Wentworth. How are you, Kelley?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. And we also have Big Brother 15 winner, Andy Herren. Andy, how are you?
I'm great, Sharon. Thanks for having me again.
And I'm sure the listeners are wondering, have you guys met? Do you guys know each other? Have you ever talked?
Yes. Do you want to take it or should I?
You should do it, Andy. Okay. You should do it.
So when I was in LA, I want to say I was there in 2019 for Pride with my friends Jordan and Juan. Kelley was also there with Lauren from Edge of Extinction and Aubrey. And just randomly, we had been texting, but we were like, oh, we are randomly going to be like very close to each other. So we met up. It was Kelley's birthday. And so the first time that I met Kelley in person, we all joined forces and I got to ring in her birthday with her.
Yes, Andy sang for me. Like yes. There were the drinks were flowing. We were we at Sir? Where were we?
We were at Pump, I'm pretty sure.
We were at Pump. Okay, yeah. So
can't wait to talk about Tom Sandoval with you guys.
Yes, and then it was just a friendship from there. I mean, obviously it wasn't in the same city or anything, but I love Andy
and I love and the thing is, like, I was a Kelley fan before. Like, it's like I was really excited to meet her in real life because I liked her a lot on Survivor.
Yes. And I mean, Andy, I sort of liked you, but no, I'm just kidding. Of course I loved you. So yeah, it was great. So here we are.
I love it. Okay. Well, we're going to get through the cast. We're going to talk about everyone. But I'm curious, like, just looking at the first impression, were you disappointed? Were you excited? Tell me.
Well, for me personally, I was excited at the Survivor people. I'm excited at the Big Brother people. I am not going to lie. There are a lot of faces. I don't know who they are. I was like, a lord? Who is this? I don't know. And then Zac Efron's brother, what's happening? That is the most random. Same. Like, what is happening here? So that was my first impression. Happy with the shows that we were both on. I think they're really good representation, but some of the other people, I'm slightly confused.
I mostly agree. I think that the female representation from Big Brother and Survivor is great. I'm sorry. I just am so over seeing Boston Rob. I've had enough. But I kind of think I'm in the minority here. So sure. Sorry, my stupid cat can't move. But
he always makes an appearance.
I like Jeremy. I also yet again, I get a little, it's funny. I'm going to sound like such a hypocrite because I'm like, we've seen Tony so much. We've seen Boston Rob so much, but then this will be Brittany's she's done Big Brother 3 times and this will be her 4th time on TV. And I'm really excited about it. But I don't know. I just wish that they would give some people who've only played once who were interesting or not even it's okay. If Boston Rob never got a second chance, he would have just been his legacy would just be that he was kind of lazy and homophobic. But he got to play again, and luckily, everybody fell in love with him after he got to play again. And it's just they never give people that chance anymore. It's frustrating to me that it's always the same pool of people. Because I feel there are a lot of people who I think if they were given a chance to play again, Kelley, I still liked you your first time, but you got a lot more to do, and I feel you were much more in the spotlight, and you got to see you a lot more your second time. And it's I wish that they would give more people a second shot instead of the same people getting a 5th shot.
Okay, fair assessment, and we'll get into all those people.
I'm gonna add something though. I do see your point, Andy, but I think on a show like the Traitors, when you have these other big names, you have people with a couple million followers, very known. If you don't have a Boston Rob or you don't have a Tony that is a very well-known person, it's I just think the other people are going to get lost. So I get why they do it, but I see your point as well. But I think Carolyn is a good example of she only played once.
I agree.
And she made such an impact that now I did not think we'd see Carolyn on the Traitors. Right. So yeah, but I do see what you're saying. I think it's probably a tough balance. Because then they throw in, you know, Britney Spears' ex. So.
Like, that's the thing. It's like, I'm not even like mad about seeing it, but it's like, I get it. Boston Rob is a big name, but it's like, my God, he was just on TV literally up until a few weeks ago. Like,
I know.
Yeah.
I think it was like, as someone who has just never, I don't hate him. I don't wish ill will on him, but I'm just like, okay, cool. He's like, I think that he is like strategically not very good. I mean, he told everyone to just like not go off alone when they were playing Winners at War. Like, it's just like, damn, this is who's on here. Like, okay.
Oh my God. All right.
Yeah,
save it. Okay. Save it until we get to Rob. But I kind of see both sides. I thought some of the cast, it's just like some highlights and then some randoms, but we'll get into it. To start, we're going to start with Big Brother, start off strong. Brittany Haynes. I think I had heard her name very early on. I think she was sort of always in the mix, but I'd love to hear what you guys think of Brittany.
Andy, you go first since you were on Big Brother.
One of the perks of being on Big Brother is that, like, I feel like I can actually become friends with the people that I grew up liking on the show. And Brittany was someone who, she literally, if you read my like CBS bio, I listed her as like my favorite player. And so it is very cool that I have become like actual friends with her in real life. We like text each other and talk shit about people all the time, which is like the dream. And so I am absolutely ecstatic that she is on there. Like, yet again, I sound like such a hypocrite because I'm mad that Rob is back. But it's like, I could watch Brittany, and it's just like, I feel lucky that Brittany is someone who does keep getting brought back, because I feel like she's actually like the type of player that gets brought back over and over again is usually not someone that I relate to that much. And I really relate to Brittany, and I love Brittany. And so this is obviously the most like happy I am with any pick of anybody in the cast.
I'm personally excited to see her as well. I think we had a really long stretch, right, where she wasn't on television. Right. So I think her coming back now is kind of like, oh, okay, that's right. I think she is like so funny in confessionals, just such a character. I think she'll be really great on the Traitors, just even like talking about people and thinking people are guilty or not. So I'm excited to see her. I think she's going to be a really, really fun character.
Totally
or just fun person. Sorry, I say character, but you know what I mean.
Yes,
she's going to be a fun addition.
She like I said, she is like emotional, but that's not a bad, like in a good way. She's fun to watch. She's funny. She's relatable. I think she's like an A+ choice. I hope that she lasts a while.
Totally. I love Brittany. Like you said, I can't add anything. Like you guys said it all. Great confessionals. I think I don't want her to be a traitor. I think she's better as a faithful, personally.
I agree.
I don't know. But but the interesting part is she's there with Daniel Reyes, and now they were on BB Reindeer games together. There's definitely some tension. I think unintentionally on Brittany's part. Daniel got upset because, you know, the game mechanics, there was a game. I don't even know how to explain it, but I think there's a little tension there. What I'm hoping is that they do work together, and I don't think they're going to trust each other 100%, but I do hope they work together. But I'd love to hear what you guys think about Daniel freaking Reyes on the show.
I mean, I agree with you that I think they're just going to be kind of like circling each other. Like, okay, we're like, I think they will want to keep each other around at first, but I definitely think they will have eyes on each other. I'm very excited that Danielle is back too. Danielle is the reason that I got into Big Brother. I randomly stumbled upon Big Brother 3, started watching her, and that's literally why I liked the show and got on the show. So wow. I'm excited that she's back. I do worry, like I said, she did take the Brittany reindeer game stuff a little weirdly personally, and I hope that doesn't translate too much into the Traitors, or it could translate and be fun, but I don't want it to translate to her immediately targeting Brittany. But I still also don't really think that will happen. But I'm very, very happy with this pick. Like I said, I like Danielle a lot. There are not many Big Brother alums that I really do like. I'm sounding like a jerk, but also if we get two that are people that I really do like and people that I'm not rolling my eyes at, I'm very excited about that.
That's a win. Do you think that she and Brittany could potentially be the Sandra Parr from last season? You know how they kind of had that coming in if I see that person, but then it ended up being fine. They both lasted a long time.
Right.
So I'm hoping that that's the same situation.
I'm I've been hearing a lot, I saw a lot of people on Twitter that were we need to make her a traitor. I totally disagree. I think it's way too obvious. I think I actually would like to see Danielle play as a faithful and not a traitor.
Oh, what I find interesting though is that, for her benefit, I don't think anyone's gonna know who she is. Like
Sure.
in a good way. Like Chriselle will know, and there's like maybe a few people, but like these Bravo people are not gonna know. So that could be beneficial to her because she's dangerous, right? She's super smart, but also very likable. So she could.
Again, I'm also coming at this from like a weird vantage point because I feel like I overanalyze all this stuff. Like, you're totally right. I feel like she would be a good traitor and that like nobody knows her background, but also like I think that's what everyone like. I want it to just be like I want expectations to not be exactly what we think. Like I think it would be fun to see her play from a different angle than what we are all expecting.
And to be fair, the Big Brother traitors don't do so well.
No.
Maybe pause on that for a minute.
Yeah.
Although, I'm going to be honest, I definitely think she's more capable than either Cody or Dan at like being a traitor.
Probably, yeah. I mean, well, they didn't do so well, so I would hope so.
It's like, I just feel like the way that Cody, like the way that Danielle plays is like the way that she played Big Brother and the way that her personality is better. So, like Cody should never have been a traitor in the first place. And I think Dan is just absolutely too salesman-y and like smarmy, and it's just like easy to see through. I think Danielle would be a more seamless traitor than those two.
I'm sorry.
I agree with that too. I do.
I'm fangirling a little bit because I distinctly remember Kelley Wentworth calling Vetus smarmy, and I'm like, that word. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember. I think it was actually Shireen who said it, but I felt the same.
Yeah.
I felt the same.
But that word, I just like, oh.
There was a lot of thrusting, but we don't need to go back down that memory lane. Yeah.
Okay, so yes, I'm happy to see Brittany and Danielle. I hope they are both honestly. Maybe I'm team Andy on you with this. Like maybe both faithfuls. Let's see how it plays out. Let's not put another Big Brother.
If one of them has to be a traitor, I would rather see Brittany as a traitor.
Wow. Do we think she's a good liar?
I think Danielle would be better as a traitor.
Yeah, but
better liar.
Right, I agree, but I also just think it would make for fun TV if Brittany were a traitor.
See, I personally want Brittany. I know we're spending so much time on these two, but
that's fine.
We can do what we want. But I think Brittany would be fun as a faithful because I could just like she's when she sees bullshit, like her faces, she's just very fun. Like I think it'd be fun for her to try and figure out. I mean, she'd be a great or as a faithful, whatever. You know what I'm saying? She'd be good either way.
In the round tables.
I mean, let's be honest. These are two of only like 6 people that even could potentially be traitors. So like,
I know.
I think
it's so true.
I think they both would be exponentially better than a lot of the people we're going to get into. So,
okay,
facts.
Good point.
Facts, Andy. Facts.
Okay, well, speaking of, who do we have next? Okay, we're getting into Housewives a little bit. We'll do Survivor at the end. Chanel. I don't know much about Chanel. Do you guys watch?
I do
not.
Know.
I don't.
Well, me too.
Much love to you, Chanel. But
we love you. Yeah. From what I know, very fiery, has a bit of a temper. Is there for the entertainment though. Okay. So she'll bring entertainment, which I appreciate. She's a little high maintenance, I'm hearing, but hey, that's fine. So am I. But someone also told me that she's also one of those people that just might be over at some point and be like, just vote me out. So I don't love that.
I was going to say, it's always, as someone that would love to play, that's always really fun to see.
Yeah. But I mean, this could be, like someone just had said this, so I don't know for sure. But we got Chanel. We also have Dolores, who I know a little bit more about. But Dolores is a little more level-headed. I think if they're going to make a housewife a traitor, it might be Dolores.
Okay.
She's like probably the most closest to Phaedra. That's like pretty loose, but she was a prison guard before she was a housewife. And she's very like civil. Like she's very close with Teresa Giudice and Melissa Gorga, and they hate each other. And so I think she's like a bit of a peacemaker.
Okay.
So that could be good.
Yeah.
For her.
Like I said, the housewives can be unexpectedly it's always fun to me when a housewife that I'm not that familiar with surprises me.
Or someone that doesn't use or aren't on these gaming shows learns the game, like a Bergie or a Peter, like last season. Sure. I like seeing that. So, okay, Kelley. Wait, who are you? Who? Both of them? Or?
I mean,
Fergie. I mean, bless him.
yeah,
Yeah.
I kind of agree with that.
Okay, fine.
But you know what? Not everyone can be in the spotlight. That's just how these shows
Yeah.
work. So someone's going to have to step back a little bit. I do think for me, because I don't know the Housewives that well, and I actually did not know Phaedra at all from last season. So I was so happy seeing her because that was my first introduction. And I was like, oh my gosh, this woman is amazing, like a star. And so I'm kind of excited to see the Housewives and not knowing them because maybe we'll have another, breakout figure who's just as incredible and has these just iconic one-liners. We'll see.
Well, speaking of one-liners, this woman.
I actually do know Dorinda. The only Real Housewives franchise, actually during the first month and a half of the pandemic in 2020 when we couldn't leave our houses, I watched every single episode of The Real Housewives of New York City. I had never seen it before. And so I did a crash course. I'm very familiar with Dorinda. I go so back and forth on her. I think that Dorinda is actually one of the sharper, smarter housewives. But Dorinda is a crippling drunk who is nasty,
drinks a lot.
nasty, cutting to the bone, mean when she drinks. And so, like I said, I go so back and forth on her because when she's not drinking, it's just I think I would really get along with her. She's cool. She is liberal and I feel like we share a lot of the same beliefs. But like I said, she is someone who just absolutely should not drink. And so although I don't think they give them too much alcohol on the Traitors, but if they do, I absolutely worry for what will happen with her because she is a really, really mean drunk.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know the quantity of alcohol, but they definitely do provide alcohol. So I don't know if there's a limit on the drinks or if it's just free flowing, but
she, like I said, is the type of person who will go for the jugular, and but that makes for fun TV. But I wonder if she's gonna rub people the wrong way if she blacks out and is really nasty.
One good thing, she probably won't be drunk at the roundtables at least because they probably don't allow that. Well, maybe we would want her. I don't know, but we'll see. I don't know anything about her, so I'm just taking it in.
Don't you agree? It's Sharon. I absolutely think she's one of the smarter housewives. I think she is absolutely capable of being a traitor if she were picked as one.
Yeah, I think also like you said, I think the audience turned on her a little bit because she was great, but then she got really mean, right? She's very insulting to people. And so, yes, that could be good TV to an extent. And there's going to be tons of memes of Dorinda. I've already seen memes on Twitter, like, oh, when Alan cuts off Dorinda's drinking or something. So it'll be interesting.
I think she's a fun choice, though, just because she really is very unpredictable.
Yeah.
And has a lot of pride. I feel like she does not like to be undermined. And so I think that could be, I think she's a good choice.
Okay. Well, the next one's confusing. Robyn, because again, I don't watch Potomac, but from what I hear, she was just fired earlier this year from the show because she was boring, quote unquote boring. Okay. So she's giving to me alternate or someone else dropped out maybe. Because
sorry, keep going.
No, someone just compared her to Sheree to me in terms of how we might see her on the show, kind of like a non-factor. And I hate to say that, but this is just, the research I did.
Right. I mean, that's also what I saw. I tried to just skim Twitter today, the hashtag, and that's basically the gist that I got as well.
Yeah.
That she's just gonna be there, essentially.
She's just there. All right, well, we'll move on. I do love Sierra. I do watch Summer House. Sweet girl. Another one where I'm confused about the casting. She's just too nice. She's beautiful, intelligent, pretty much stays out of drama unless you confront her. And then, of course, she'll stand up for herself, but not in a mean way. She's just a sweet girl who I would probably align with.
Okay.
Very loyal.
But it's you need people like that amidst all the chaos. So I like the sound of that.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
So
I think that Summer House, though, so I've only seen the first couple seasons of Summer House and then I stopped. So I only kind of know those big characters from obviously Kyle was on the Traitors the first season. who is the woman and the guy that have all this like crazy stuff with the wedding right now.
Yeah.
Carl
So,
and
Lindsay was in talks for
Lindsay.
season 2 and then
Okay.
didn't do it. But yes.
Okay. So I would think if they did Summer House, maybe someone like that. So I'm not familiar with Sierra, but you know,
Yeah.
to your point and Andy's point, we do need people that you can't have everyone have a massive personality. You can't have everyone who's all up in the drama. You kind of need those characters that just fall in line, if you will. So we'll see.
She's probably the nicest person on Bravo, to be honest. She's too nice.
Well,
but yeah, maybe she not. I'm like, oh, maybe she called Kyle for advice, but like, what would he tell her?
Oh, yes.
No offense, Kyle,
yeah.
but here we go, guys. I need to get into it. The most hated man in America who is a real life quote unquote traitor. I think that's why they really probably wanted him, because they want to lean into that. This is my guess, but all right, give me your thoughts on Tom Sandoval.
Okay. Well, I love Vanderpump Rules.
Same.
I know Andy also loves Vanderpump Rules. So okay, here's the thing with Vanderpump. There are so many big characters. I get that like Tom is hot right now for all the wrong reasons. I find him to be so annoying. I'm sorry to say that. I just think there would have been better options. Again, I get why they probably picked him. He probably is going to be a little spicy in there, going to have opinions. Would he be a traitor? Maybe. It's so fitting.
Is he smart enough? Is he smart enough to be a traitor though?
I don't know.
I was thinking about this. He's a weird combination of, I think he is deeply stupid, but
Yes.
I also think he's a good liar. He is a good liar.
Is a good liar.
And so
True.
I think that's like an interesting mix. And so I actually I hate him, but also like for that reason, I think it's like a little interesting that he's in there because like I said, I think he's stupid, but a good liar. And so I'm intrigued to see like how he does. I agree with Kelley that I find him very annoying, but also I find truly every man on Vanderpump Rules annoying. I genuinely think all the men on Vanderpump Rules are the worst men in the fucking world. And like, I genuinely go every day. I go back and forth on which one I think is the most evil. Like Tom Sandoval is so evil, but like Tom Schwartz pretends like he's not evil, but I also think he's just as evil as Tom Sandoval. So that might even be worse to me. I'm getting sidetracked. Long story short, I do think that Tom Sandoval is an interesting choice. And because like, it's like, I think he's going to get like some comeuppance. I think he's going to look stupid. And I think that'll be fun to watch.
Yeah, I just don't, no one's going to want to align with him. And it makes me think, and again, this is me speculating, but like, would they also just make him a traitor so they keep him for a few episodes? Because like, he could be a first boot. Because like, even the Housewives, like they've probably met him at BravoCon, but like, they probably don't want to be associated with him. I don't know. This is me speculating.
And the thing with Tom, he kind of has this, I'm better than you. At least that's how it comes across on television. And so that combined with him being very manipulative could, to your point, have him trouble early on. So it seems funny, like he could be a traitor because he is technically a traitor, but would that be too obvious? I mean, last year Dan was super obvious and they picked him anyway. So
true.
But it's like I'm dreaming of like a world where I know I'm like jumping the gun a little bit, but it's like a world where Bob the drag queen just like absolutely reads Tom Sandoval to hell. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I think there's like a high likelihood of something like that happening, which would be fun.
Now I'm getting excited because I'm like, wait, people are gonna come for him. Maybe that's fun. But has anyone checked on Sheena?
Poor Sheena. Although like
Sheena.
Like it's funny. I've been doing like a Vanderpump rewatch. When I'm bored, I'll just find like old episodes. I do think Sheena is the most annoying person in the world, but also like it's like I feel
it's
bad.
Endearing a little bit.
I'm gonna say it's mostly endearing, but also she's the type of person where like I think if I were around her in real life, she would drive me nuts.
Yes.
And it is funny. I feel bad laughing at someone else's pain, but just like she wants this stuff so bad, and it is kind of funny watching everyone else get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Speaking of Bob the drag queen, Andy, do you watch Drag Race?
Absolutely, of course. Yeah.
Okay, kick it off.
I think it's like a tie between Bob the drag queen and Bianca Del Rio is like my two favorite queens of all time. Because I love a like quick-witted, sharp, funny comedy queen, and that's exactly what Bob is. I could not be happier with this choice.
Yes, this is what I've heard. Kelley, do you watch? Because I don't watch Drag Race.
I do watch Drag Race, but I haven't seen every season, and this isn't ringing a bell. Like I've seen like Monet Exchange. Like I definitely remember like that.
Oh, they have a podcast.
Yes, they do. They're like best friends.
Shoot. Okay, so that would be a good way for me to go. Okay.
So what I will say is I genuinely think Bob is maybe like top 5 smartest queens that have ever been on the show. And maybe the funniest, and I really do think those things kind of go hand in hand. In order to be that sharp and funny, you have to be very smart. I think that Bob is going to do great, unless like weird implicit biases like take Bob out right away. But I also think everyone knows like the backlash that happened with Peppermint, and I think like people will know not to like act like people will have more of an open mind this time. I think.
Yeah.
I want to say something that's not like Bob specific, but I do wish they would put a couple on a season, because I do think there are so many just awesome queens that have been on Drag Race, just totally incredible. Agree. Like I can't think of a bunch off my head, but I'm just watching. I'm like, oh my God, these people are amazing. So I just wish they would do more than one, especially after the Peppermint thing. Like even 2 would have been awesome, just compared to some of the other people. So
I really agree with you. And it's like Drag Race is such a popular show. I don't understand.
Yeah.
Like they could easily have 3 people from it, and fans would love it. Like the Drag Race fandom, especially, is so online, and I feel like we'd get a lot of people talking. But still, if I obviously wish we had more, but if we could only have one, I am glad that this is the one that we got. I think that she'll be great.
Perfect. Yeah, and someone told me that she binge watched Survivor during the pandemic, so she might know the Survivor people a bit, which is good.
I am nearly positive that she will know the Survivor people.
Okay.
That's great.
Who's next? This one. What's going on here?
Again, we could have replaced someone from Drag Race with Bob.
Right.
No shade. Listen, I'm sorry. It's just I don't know. I haven't seen Biggest Loser in 15 years. So I don't know.
Same.
I have trauma from that show. It's just like such a weird show, and he hasn't been on TV in many years, and it's giving boring. I mean, again, I'm not being mean. I don't know the man, but I'm just like, there's so many other people, and this is who you pick. I'm just very confused.
Like, to give you a gauge of how I felt about this, I looked at the cast multiple times, and like an hour before this, someone mentioned that he was on the cast, and I did not even notice him every time I had looked at the cast.
He was the first name, Andy.
Yeah, I literally was like, he is? And then I like looked at the cast, and I was like, oh yeah, there he is. But I did not notice him. And so that says a lot, I think.
Watch him go on to win. We're all going to eat our words.
Yeah.
Okay, Chrishell. I do not watch Selling Sunset, but I know Chrishell. She is a huge Big Brother fan. I don't know. I like dug into her Twitter a little bit. She used to live tweet like Big Brother for. She loves Brittany.
I knew that she was a big Brother fan, and that's mostly that's all I really know about her. But I feel like that's a good thing. Like it means that she like it makes me think of Trishelle from last season, who was a huge Big Brother and Survivor fan. And I feel like downplayed that a little bit and didn't really let everyone know how strategic she actually was. And it worked out very well for her. And so I could see very similar vibes here.
I think she might be a fun traitor. I don't know why. I'm just like, she could be fun. I also saw she tweeted a lot about the Free Britney movement, which I find funny now that Sam is in there. Because how's that going to go? But yeah, Chrishell. Who's next? Oh, here we go to Survivor.
Okay. Yay.
Okay, we'll probably spend a little more time on these people, but let's talk about Carolyn, because when I first heard her name, I was like, there's no way, like, because I'm hearing other big names, and no offense to Carolyn, she's just recent, and we've seen traitors tend to go a little more old school, so I was like, interesting. But I think she's fun. I think she's going to be kind of like throw a wrench into like those 3 guy winners and sort of, I don't know, I think it'll be fun. Give me your thoughts. Kelley?
Yeah, I think it was a shock to me as well, simply because I just don't, what I know from Carolyn is kind of her fun, out there personality, right? And she's not afraid to be herself, which is amazing. A lot of people, wouldn't be able to do the same. Like she just owns it. And I love that about her. At the same time, I don't know in a game like this where she kind of fits in, I guess. That's when, as I'm like looking at the cast and looking at the other Survivor people, I'm like, interesting. But I'm happy for her because I think of all the Survivor people and the women they could go back to, the fact that they chose her is kind of wild. So we'll see. I kind of am like in the middle with Carolyn.
Yeah. Andy, any thoughts? Did you watch her season?
Of course I did. I've never missed a season of Survivor. Please don't ever disrespect me like that again.
I am so sorry. It was me because I did not watch the recent season. So sorry.
I really love Carolyn. I do agree that I think it's a little bit random of a choice, but also like, I think she's one of like the top most identifiable females from the new era. And so like, I don't think it's like that shocking, I guess, but also like, I do think like, if you're going, like they went with like three kind of like, all of the other Survivor and Big Brother players are more like old school legends. And so in that regard, yes, it is surprising. Yeah. But like, I'm not mad about it. I like her. I kind of think she's either like out right away or goes to the end.
I think I think so too.
Yeah. And so I'm not really sure yet. But I do think she is so fun to watch. And I think that she will be very interesting to watch.
I have to add, she would be an absolutely horrible traitor. I think if they put her as a traitor, that's like immediate problem. So she should be a faithful.
Do we really believe Alan picked them? Like Alan doesn't even know how to say Daniel Reyes' name. I highly doubt he knows who Carolyn is or some, like, I'm like, did he really pick the traitors?
Is that what they say? Sorry, I somehow have missed that.
That's what he claimed for this season, that he picked them. But okay. I think it's production.
It's a collective.
Yeah.
It's not just him. There's no way.
Like if he picked three people who were incapable of being traitors, there's no way they would like allow that.
No.
Right.
No.
Like Tom Sandoval, Carolyn, and the royal guy. Like it just wouldn't work.
No.
Okay, so Carolyn, excited about the I think she'll spice up TV a little. Like she's always entertainment. And I think she'll throw over. I am happy she's there with like these three guys from Survivor because they're gonna have to work with her. I feel like, but we'll talk about it. Jeremy, does he look familiar to you, Kelley?
Yes, I'm so happy when I heard that Jeremy was on. I love Jeremy. I think he's so amazing. I've played with him twice. He's just like such a good person, and so obviously like good people. I want to see them do more things, and I feel like Traitors is going to be great for him. I think he'd be great as a traitor or a faithful. He's just so personable and likable. Like you can't meet Jeremy and not like Jeremy. Like he is just that person. Like he can get along with anyone. He can have a conversation with anyone. He's just so likable in himself. So I'm super excited to see Jeremy because I think he's still gonna I don't think he's going to fall in the background. He's still going to be interesting and have a lot to say, but I don't think he's going to be so in your face like some of the other people. So I think he could do really well.
He likes those meat shields too. So I think he's going to be happy to see Rob and Tony because they have bigger targets than Jeremy. And Jeremy's way more likable than those two. No offense to them, but Jeremy's just like an all around, like he can get along with anyone, I feel like. So I totally agree. Andy, what do you think?
I absolutely echo everything that Kelley said. I mean, I don't personally know him like she does, but from what I have experienced watching him, I love him. And like, I'm really happy with this pick. I think he's going to be very good. I do totally agree that I think that having the other male, like more high profile male winners there, is going to be a good thing for him. And I'm really excited to see him.
I feel like Jeremy is probably like a rule follower because like I didn't hear his name till very last minute. So I'm like curious if he was like always in the casting or he just like kind of keeps it shut. And I feel like maybe
he keeps it shut.
Yeah.
I know that for a fact. Yeah, he keeps it shut.
I thought so. I can see that.
Because he doesn't even really pregame on on when he goes on Survivor. Like 31, I don't think he did really any pregaming.
Yeah, and pregaming is so hit or miss. Like it can really not do anything. Well, here we go.
Oh, we know how Andy feels already.
I will say, and Andy's going to make fun of me because I feel the same way about BB16. I'm a bit of a Rob apologist, only because I do find him entertaining. Like, I watched Deal or No Deal Island, and, like, if he weren't there, I don't think that show would have been, like, as good. Like, there were some good characters, but I do agree. He's had some flop Survivors seasons, but he also... Yeah, I still enjoy watching him, so That's how sort of I feel, but I don't know how it's going to go in there because he does like to bulldoze people a little bit, but he's also big on alliances. So I feel like he's just going to try to team up with Tony and Jeremy. I don't know. Kelley, what do you think?
The only thing with Rob, I think sometimes is he really tries to be controlling.
Yeah.
So he tries to tell people what to do or how,
Yep.
you know, I think I only watched a few episodes of the Deal or No Deal Island, but I got that vibe. Obviously we already talked about Winners at War when he was trying to like tell people to link, you know, I just think that I don't think he can help himself. And I don't know if that's going to work out for him in this type of game, but we'll see. And listen, I get that people are tired of Rob. I still find him to be entertaining. So I'm fine with the pick.
Yeah. That's sort of how I feel.
I get it.
And he's like,
Andy's been waiting. He's like, okay, let me just finish here.
Like I'm telling you, I don't know what he has over like production on all these shows, but like they love him. And so like they're probably going to make him a traitor and give him like some sort of crazy advantage just because he's Rob. Like, it's like, I always think of in Winners at War, before he went to the edge of extinction, they had to literally do a grueling like 18-hour task for one fire token. And then when he went, they just like threw 5 fire tokens at the top of a hill and they were like, here you go, run up and get them. And
oh my God, I forgot. You're right.
It's like, that's like the epitome of like how these shows view Rob. It's just like, okay, like, sure, he's like cool.
Like Ethan was passing out.
Right.
Like the next
and then Rob, not even winded, was like, I just found a bunch. Like,
okay, that's fair.
That's a good point. Fair. That is a good point.
That's fair. I don't know. Like, he would be an obvious traitor to me, though, so I don't know.
Yeah.
But
like, he's definitely going to be at least one obvious traitor. But also, like, we have to remember that he's obvious to us, but it's like
that's what I was going to say.
2/3 of this cast definitely ever watched an episode of Survivor. And so, like, you know.
But if they were going to know anyone from Survivor, it would probably be Rob.
If anything, they may not know Tony, which is crazy because Tony is so chaotic that like, he, to me, would be a more obvious traitor. But let's
talk about it. Are we getting Winners at War, Tony? Are we getting Game Changers, Tony? Like, what Tony are we getting?
I hope. I hope we get Game Changers, Tony. I hope Tony's. I'm just yet again. I'm kind of over it. Actually, I don't know. Now I'm like, he is chaotic, and so I do think he'll be fun to watch. Like,
he's great TV.
No, I was gonna say, okay, I actually totally disagree with what I just said. I'm sounding so schizophrenic. No, I like. Okay, if we're gonna lose one of the like CBS people, I would like it to be like Rob or Tony. But clearly, I would like Tony to go further than the people that don't know what they're doing, or like the people that like, you know what I'm saying, or the people that are like, I'm playing an honest game. Like, oh, shut up. And so I like in that regard, I am happy to see Tony, but also like yet again, I think I've seen Tony a lot. I just like there could have been more exciting picks for me here, but
can I paint a picture? Can you imagine chaotic Tony in the wine chalice type situation?
Okay.
Like just imagine, just because of his whole spy shack and everything, like I can think of a situation like that and be like, oh my God, like, because he would try and do it.
Yeah.
But I just think I could see him just being really funny. And at the end of the day, it's a TV show. Like, I want to have some funny. Yeah. So, but I see everyone's point.
What's the where's the spy shack going to be in the castle? I'm sure he's going to crack that out. No, I think he's great TV. I do love Tony. I also love how Tony disappears for 3 years and then pops up on Twitter when he's like definitely in casting for something.
You know when he's going on a show, like all of a sudden he's just like, "Oh, hey everybody!" Like, "Oh my God, Tony! Like you're doing."
Did you check out my YouTube channel?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Oh my God, Kelley! I forgot to mention, like, or ask. Have you had interactions with Tony and Boston Rob? Like, are you friendly with them? Have you talked to them ever, or not?
I've never talked to Tony. I would love to. So with my husband. My husband is like, if there's one person I could talk to, I want to talk to just like kind of crazy Tony. And then I've met Boston Rob at like Hearts of Reality, like you know, the reality, whatever.
What at Heart? Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
But just met him. I'm not like friendly with him or anything.
I was wondering if Rob was gonna kind of hold over, because Rob voted for Tony to win, so I'm wondering if he's gonna be like, you know, I gave you $1 million. Let's I don't know. He might hold that over his head a little bit.
Those three played together in Winners at War. That's an interesting thought as well. Yeah.
But Rob and Tony were never on the same beach. And then Tony and Jeremy weren't the best of friends. And obviously Jeremy's like super close with Natalie, so that makes sense why he didn't vote for Tony, obviously.
Wait, how did Jeremy do on Winners at War? Why am I drawing a blank? Like,
he did pretty well. He did
well.
Like 3 or 4 into the jury.
Okay.
Yeah. If I remember correctly.
But I think Tony was the one kind of running around, if I recall, and kind of like lied to like there might be a little hurt feelings there, but again, these three are going to the game knowing they need to team up probably because just numbers, right? Like they're gonna. Do you think the Survivor and Big Brother people are gonna stick together or no?
Yeah, I mean, I think
it's a lot of numbers. It's 6 people. That's a lot.
I feel like they all. Well, it's interesting. I think yes, but also like they're all going to be wary of each other, and I feel like how Sandra kind of like pulled in faithfuls last time, like the people that weren't as good at the game as her. Like I could see some of them doing that too. You know, like the people that they know are probably not traitors.
Right. Someone like Sandra, I think, played it really well because she kind of like sucked up. Like we didn't really see it, but I could tell. She's like kind of sucking up to the Housewives and stuff. Yeah. And if I had any advice, especially for the men in this game, it's like, don't underestimate the Housewives and don't ignore them because they will notice and they will feel that energy. And so someone like Rob or Tony, like they can't sort of go in there bulldozing, or I just hope for their sake, they should kind of integrate a little bit with the Bravo people to like, you know what I mean?
Going off what Kelley said, I mean, I absolutely think out of these 3, Jeremy is the one that's the likeliest to like get people on his side.
Yep, totally agree. All right, well, I'm excited about that. Gabby, does anyone watch Bachelor or Bachelorette here?
I used to, but I gave it up. Oh, that sounds like I gave up an addiction or something. I gave it up about 5 years ago, everybody.
It was intense. It was like 3-hour episodes. Like, no, I also gave it up.
Too much.
It's not what it used to be. Listen, I feel like I'm talking about old school Survivor here. It is not what it used to be. It just turned into, they kept casting the same type of people over and over so that they could get the 2-on-1 date where the 2 people were fighting. The one person goes home. It's just like the same recipe. I just was like, ugh. So I do not know Gabby.
Because didn't you podcast about Bachelor?
Yes, I used to love The Bachelor. I used to love The Bachelor, and then it lost me. Yeah.
Yeah.
So was Gabby was like the titular Bachelorette?
She was a co-Bachelorette.
One of 2.
They were like, they couldn't choose, which seems shitty that she had to share the spotlight, but
they did that they did that back when in the Caitlin Bristow days. Yes. They had 2 people, but the crazy thing with that is that the men on the night 1, sorry, I'm going back in time. The men on night 1 had to pick one of the 2 to start.
And the other went home?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So that was like, ew. Yeah. So,
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, Bachelor history.
Caitlin Bristow is a big Brother fan.
I love Caitlin Bristow. I think she'd be great on a show like this. What do you call Caitlin?
Because I do know who she is, and I was at brunch one day in Chicago, and she came up to me and was just like, I'm a huge fan, and I was like, I'm a huge fan.
Oh my God.
And it was a lovely little interaction.
I love that. I love her.
I wonder if she got called. She had to get a call. No, I feel like she's one of the most recognizable bachelorettes.
She would do it though. She would do it.
Yeah.
I wonder. Well, I don't know much else about Gabby, but she was on Dancing with the Stars. She finished 2nd, and her partner was Val, who is obviously his brother's Max, who was on last season, but he's very forgettable. So I don't know what advice Max would have for her. But speaking of, Kelley, you know Wells because Wells is old school.
Wells. Yeah, I do know Wells. Mm-hmm.
I know Wells.
Okay, likable guy, right? I don't know.
He's fine.
I agree. It's like, I agree. I think like he was nice. Like, yeah.
People like him.
I personally, super nice, almost too nice for reality TV, to be honest. And I was very surprised when he came back for Bachelor in Paradise and ended up being the bartender. I was like, that's an interesting choice because I would have thought you would wanted something that's a little bit spicier, but he ended up just kind of being the therapist, which was a little bit strange. So his journey has been interesting. But as a person, he seems really nice. I know he does some charity work, and he was a radio guy for a while, and now he's married to that really famous woman. I forget her name. So he's
Sarah Hyland, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, he's married to Sarah Hyland. Like you said, I think very sweet. Also, you know, he on Bachelor in Paradise, they always like touted him as like, go to Wells for advice and stuff. So like those kind of skills and being likable might help him in there, but he's just not. I don't see him as like a cutthroat person.
No.
But I did a little digging. He did have Ethan on his podcast once, so I'm wondering if he watches Survivor.
Okay.
I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah, that was interesting to me. But Ethan's also like a big name from Survivor, old school. Okay, so Wells, okay. Nikki Bella.
I absolutely have not one clue who this is.
Guys, okay, I don't know. I did not watch her show. But.
I feel like Andy and I are the same person. Like we don't know the same people. Like we're like,
yes.
I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm sorry.
The shorts.
She looks great.
She's ripped. She's probably gonna be very competitive. Not a shock. The other, you know, she was with John Cena for many years.
Okay.
And she wanted, so she wanted to get married and have kids, and he was like, no. And so finally they broke up, and of course, tale as old as time, he went and had a baby with someone else and got married. Shocker. So she went on Dancing with the Stars and now is married to her partner Artem from Dancing with the Stars.
Okay.
So random. So that's her. I don't know if she's gonna do super well. I think she's gonna be one of those people that's like getting the shield and caring about the competitions and not necessarily like the strategy, but I could be wrong. But yeah,
which the competitions are the least interesting part of the show.
The competition, so if I like have a lot to do, I fast forward through them.
Oh, I do too. I'm like, I don't need to see this. Why are we? There's no benefit to this competition. So hopefully they change that this season. I hope they took that feedback, but
I don't think they will.
I know. Well, you definitely know who this is.
What's happening here?
Okay, Dylan Efron. Anyway,
don't you? I mean, this is like kind of dark, but wouldn't that just make you so sad if that was your identifier in life? Just so and so's brother.
Yeah,
it's a bummer.
Someone said he was probably in casting for Claim to Fame, and then like
or
something.
But I guess in a show where it is a lot of reality people or athletes, where does he fit in? Like, what was this casting choice? I'm struggling to understand.
I feel like he's came from. Yeah, I feel like, well, obviously he's there because of the name, but like he's giving Ryan Lochte to me, like a deer in headlights. Like, what's happening? What is this game? Like, I could be wrong, but I peeped his Instagram. He's just like a guy who's like super into hiking and working out. Like, I don't think he watches TV much. I mean, I know his brother doesn't. So, I don't have super high and they would never make this guy a traitor, right?
There's no way. There's no way. The only thing I can think is if they're trying to, widen the fan base, like who's watching it. So like, okay, we've got this covered, we got that covered, we've got that, and now we're gonna get celebrity. I still don't know.
They'll get like Zac Efron will like mention it on his Instagram or something. Like
that's what they're hoping.
Right. I'm just looking at it from
Very
I'm sure
strange.
He's lovely, though. I'm sure he's lovely. I'm really not talking shit, I promise.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, you know what? Maybe I hope he surprises us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and just so people know, like, these are first impressions. We don't know these people, so like they could totally be wrong.
I personally know this guy, and
okay, you guys know some people, but I don't know any of these people. Well, okay, here we go. Lord Ivar Mountbatten.
People that I know. No, I'm just kidding. I have no clue who this is. But
this is King Charles' second cousin.
Okay.
Why would he do this show?
I don't know. I will say he was the first royal to have a same-sex wedding, so that was like interesting. So he's married to a man. Yeah, we actually have, I think, 5-ish LGBTQ plus people representing. So like better than previous seasons.
Yeah. So this guy, Bob, both Bobs.
Gabby is in a relationship with a woman.
Okay.
Chriselle is in a relationship with a non-binary person. Okay. And then there's one more. Bob is also pansexual, I think.
Yeah, both Bobs. Yeah.
Carolyn.
Oh, Carolyn. Okay.
Oh, so maybe 6 people. Great.
Okay, love that.
But this is just a John. They're trying to repeat what John did last year, right? Or what is this casting? Remember John?
And listen, and I did not know who that man was at the time, and he was funny.
Absolutely.
Unintentionally funny. Okay.
I mean, when he was just like when he just listened to Parvati the whole episode and dragged her to hell at the round table, that was fun.
When he was running in that one challenge, and Tamara was like, "You can run all of a sudden." He's like,
"Where's your inhaler?"
So little funny moments that weren't meant to be funny, but so but as far as comments on, I have nothing.
Yeah. We'll see. And the last one, but not least, well, maybe least, Sam Asghari. We got Britney Spears' ex-husband. I mean, this is just a name grab for the show, right? What is this?
This to me screams gone right away. Like, I think he will not.
Oh, interesting. He might quit. I could see this guy being like, "What is this show? Like, get me out of here."
I think he's gone pretty quickly.
When they're coming up the list, they're looking at the whiteboard, they've got people's names on it, they're moving things around, they're deciding, where the hell did this guy come in? And I'm not trying to be rude, I just don't understand.
Yeah.
I wonder.
Makes zero sense.
So he was trying to be a serious actor for a while. I think he saw that wasn't working out. And then obviously his marriage fell apart, and I don't think he has much going on. And I wonder if his agents called them even. Because where did this come from? Like, why is he here?
Yeah. I mean, he's pretty, but yeah, I don't care.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to root for people when you know nothing about them.
Right.
Again, maybe he'll surprise us, but I'm not feeling that.
Yeah, I don't know what to make of him. I'm like wondering if like a Boston Rob would like scoop him up, like try to bro out with him or something. I don't know how this is gonna.
Please do not will that into existence.
I'm just saying that tends to happen, like.
But just imagine when they're on that day one and they're all looking at the board of people and they're like, "Oh yeah, that person's from Survivor, that person's from the WWE, that person," and then they're like, "Oh,
Britney Spears is ex.
That's Britney Spears ex." Like how? It doesn't make sense.
You're right, because when they're doing introductions, like, "Hey, I'm Sam. I'm an actor." They're like, "What? Who?"
Yeah.
It's like Kevin from last season who didn't know anybody. Remember him?
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys.
Oh yeah, I remember him.
Yeah, I remember him
from Bling Empire.
Yes. Okay, so that was the cast. I think we ran through them at a good pace. Overall, like I said, I think there's some highlights, but there's definitely some just like randos in there.
It's definitely not as good as the season 2 cast, which was truly like shockingly good.
I agree.
But I think the Big Brother and the Survivor representation are not bad.
Yeah.
No, I think we won there for sure. Yeah. I think a little bit strange to me, they just completely ignored the challenge.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like they were like, "Nope, sorry."
Do we think that was contractual, or they just were like, "No, CT and Trishelle just won. Let's take a break," or something?
I don't know.
I
mean, they had to make room for Britney Spears' ex and Zac Efron's brother.
No, Bob Harper.
And the Lord. The Lord must come on.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, as we wrap up, I want to get sort of our official who we think maybe either would be good traitors or they just will make definitely a traitor. Any picks?
Oh, boy.
I think like one of Tony, Boston Robert, Danielle Reyes. Like absolutely one of those three for sure. Mm-hmm. I absolutely could see Tom Sandoval being a traitor. I could see Dorinda being a traitor. Bob the Drag Queen, I think, is very sharp and smart. I think Bob the Drag Queen would be a good traitor. Yeah.
Okay. Kelley?
I agree. I think that those are good options. I think that Tom Sandoval is the most obvious, and they almost have to, just because of his past. I think they definitely have to choose at least one from the Big Brother Survivor, because there's so many of them and they're gamers. They have to choose one. And I think it just makes sense for them to do a housewife. Some of the other random people, I just don't. But I could also see the Drag Race as well, I think. And I would like that. Since there's, the only queen, I think that would be cool.
I agree.
I kind of like when I don't know how many they're going to start with this time, but I do like when they have to recruit. I don't know. I found that interesting when they had to recruit Parvati. Like, I thought that was cool. So I kind of hope they do that again.
Yeah, I like that.
Well, yeah, I forget that there were only 2 and then they had to pick one. Okay, yeah.
Sometimes they start with 4. Like, it depends. So, like, we'll see.
One thing this show does not, or like one thing the show loves is having the like most lax rules you've ever seen.
Yeah.
So,
like how every competition comes down to 2 seconds. I'm like, really?
right.
What clock are you using? Because I don't think that's correct, but sure. Okay. Before we wrap up, any winner picks? I know that's very early, but like, or anyone you really want to win. Who's like your number one? Brittany?
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah, I mean, I have to go with Jeremy just because I know Jeremy.
It's like just I'm gonna pick.
Yeah, I have to pick the person that I. Yeah.
Okay, fair. I probably would go with them too. Like people I know Brittany, I know Danielle, so like I'd probably go with them. But I love Jeremy too.
But like knowing what I know, I really do think Jeremy is like a good one to watch.
Mm-hmm.
He's dangerous. Like people don't realize because he's so nice.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, he's very good. Here's one last question. Make a prediction. Do you think Traitor will win this season or Faithfuls? Because Sari was Traitor, then the Faithfuls won. It should, I mean, Traitors obviously have the advantage. So I always say, and there, like if you've seen the show, there has to be at least one traitor at the end. Otherwise there is no show.
Right.
I think I think having traitors win is more fun.
I do too.
So I would like a traitor to win.
I do. Yeah, I would like that too.
Yeah, I think they just have a bigger advantage. So like statistically, I think I just always go traitor. But yeah. Okay. Well, any last thoughts? I appreciate you guys being here. Any last thoughts?
Do we know when the season is going to air?
Good question, because they're filming now where last year they filmed in September. I feel like it's weird for them to hold it all the way to January, but like, so they're maybe they're going to do it in the fall. And then like, if it were me, and I would just do 2 seasons a year. Absolutely. I mean, the show is huge. Like just keep cranking them out. There's a huge pool of people to pull from. So it could be next year, but I'm hoping it's in the fall, to be honest. I don't know.
Me too. I want to just give it to us in a month, please. I love it.